constant at the end of Market Street, looming large in every way. Every city has a landmark like this, a building through which one can read the larger history. The transformations that occurred around it and how they parallel what has occurred in other American waterfront cities during the past 125 years are the subject of this book. Location is key to the ferry building's enduring relevance. The structure that opened in 1898 was deliberately placed at the point where San Francisco met the harbor, the city's reason for existence. The utilitarian wooden piers of the working port jabbed into the bay on the ferry building's north and south flanks. Market Street unfurled to the west toward the green hills that fold upward in the center of the city. The purpose was functional, to provide a modern depot for ferries and their passengers arriving in San Francisco. The architectural aims were grandiose. The tower is intended not only to mark the foot of Market Street and be the first object of interest to those coming over the bay, declared the officials in charge of the port. It will serve as a beacon and clock tower which can be seen for many miles in every direction. The classical look was inspired by a 12th century bell tower in Seville, Spain, but the design tested the engineering limits of the 1890s. The foundation of unreinforced concrete weighed 56,000 tons and sat atop 5,117 piles milled from trunks of Oregon pine that were lodged 80 feet into soft mud below the tides. At the peak of service in 1930, 43 ferry boats transported 47 million people from 5 cities along the bay, creating a surge of daily foot traffic that locals boasted was exceeded only by Charing Cross Station in London. Equally important, the Bayside Depot was more universally accepted as a symbol of San Francisco than any other single landmark. The Federal Works Projects Administration's Guide to the Region declared in 1940, serving to identify the city in the minds of countless travelers throughout the world. They didn't even need to see it in person. The ferry building adorned postcards and guidebooks, shorthand for the city by the bay. Yet by mid-century, the symbol was in decline. Its role as a transportation hub usurped by 2 adventurous bridges that linked San Francisco with neighboring counties to the north and east, and, by extension, the nation beyond. The spans were celebrated as infrastructural triumphs, and the Golden Gate Bridge between San Francisco and Marin glowed with powerful grace. They also showed how automobiles had become synonymous with the American way of life, glorifying individual convenience over shared communal landscapes, a shift that led to such abominations as the double-deck Embarcadero Freeway that shoved across Market Street and opened in 1959, a crude barrier that severed the ferry building from the rest of the city until the freeway itself was demolished, by choice, not earthquake, 32 years later. The decades after World War II were harrowing times for traditional cities. Diverse neighborhoods were destroyed in the name of renewal. Handsome commercial buildings were leveled to make room for corporate high-rises, bets on the future that, too often, undermined what made their cities desirable to begin with. The ferry building itself was threatened with demolition but survived. Market Street wasn't as lucky, with many of its embellished masonry landmarks from the early 1900s replaced by unadorned shafts of metal and glass. The Embarcadero's hectic working waterfront grew quiet as worldwide changes in the shipping industry left piers to rot. Amid all these pressures, and despite its forlorn isolation, the ferry building emerged as a new sort of civic symbol. Its endurance signaled San Franciscans' determination to protect their city's physical character from the standardized formulas of would-be urban saviors, and suggested
To keep listening to this audiobook for free, click the link in the description. It will take you to a free Audible trial where you can listen to this and many other books for free for 30 days.